Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there?
What's going
Welcome
on,
to
guys?
another edition. I gotta fix this camera. We cut it off, right, Mick? Welcome to another edition of Two Micks and A Wop variety show. Oh, you got the right Mick, you got the left Mick, you got the Wop, and our very special guest, Tyler Falduto.
And I'm kind of a 2-for-1. I'm a Mick Wop combo, so the whole thing in one sandwich.
2.5 mix and 2.5 mix and 1.5 Wop. 2.5 mix, 1.5 Wop.
I'm not a
Right
fucking
here.
CPA, John. I'm just gonna have to trust you.
All right. Well, here's the deal.
I don't know what that means.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. How are you doing? Can you see what's going on, Tyler? Can you see us?
I can just fine. Are you guys having some like lag on the audio for me? Or are you kind of hearing me live here?
Oh, we're hearing you great.
Right on.
Great.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Everything's good. So we're gonna. All right. Listen, I'm just gonna get right into this because last week we seriously offended somebody, seriously bad, and we're just gonna cut right to it. Okay.
Oh boy.
Hey man, it's Henry, #1 listener looker here, man. But I don't know for how much longer if y'all gonna be cutting my videos. I sent a nice video talking about Pat Garrett and his pick and pull the first Thursday of every month. But y'all didn't air it? Come on, man. I'm the #1 listener looker, man. It's Henry, man. Come on, man. And now you got Tyler Falduto as a guest. I don't even know who that is, man. But I'm sure if Two Micks and A Wop say he cool, then he gotta be cool. 'Cause Two Micks and A Wop is cool. But you know what's not cool? Cutting my videos, man. Come on, man. So this is Henry, #1 listener looker, man, saying, don't be cutting my videos, man. Come on, man.
Outstanding.
We're sorry,
Outstanding.
Henry. We're sorry, Henry. We didn't mean to. We meant no disrespect, Henry. You are #1 listener lurker, and we really didn't. We mean no disrespect. That's why we played you first. We apologize, Henry. There was a lot of stuff going on, but we got you in first, Henry.
And I also want to apologize to the spaghetti station. It seems like you raw dogged them too.
What do you? I mean, I haven't been to this. I don't even know.
What do you say?
Oh my God.
Here we go ahead.
Well,
We do another one.
we'll be back after this.
Pip pip, cheerio, bangers and mash, and all of the other pleasantries to all of the wonderful listeners and lurkers out there in Two Micks and A Wop land. It is I, Flintlock Blunderbuss Pinchbottom, here again with another message about American cheese. Ah yes, American cheese. That processed, yellowy, orangey goodness that has been the source of so many debates across the nation. But now, according to the American Association for the Elimination of American Cheese, it is official. American cheese can actually make your eyes bleed purple urine. That's right. After much research, the association determined that the dreaded American cheese can cause such side effects as purple eye watering, random bouts of nausea, and even yellow teeth. The association hopes that once people become aware of the science behind it, they will make healthier eating choices and move away from the processed food that is American cheese. So in an effort to save your eyes, your teeth, and your stomach, please consider avoiding American cheese. Of course, if you still find yourself craving the taste of American cheese, there are other healthier options available. Cheddar, Colby, Swiss. They all offer delicious alternatives that won't leave you with the unpleasant side effects associated with American cheese. So go ahead and take the pledge. No more American cheese. Your eyes and in turn your life will thank you. This message brought to you by me, Flintlock Blunderbuss Pinchbottom, the American Association for the Elimination of American Cheese, and of course, your friends at Two Micks and A Wop. And with that, I give it back to you, Two Micks and A Wop.
That guy
So-
really doesn't like American cheese.
So, Tyler, let me start off
Yeah.
by asking you your feelings on American cheese.
Is it cheese really, John? And need I say more? And I'd eat the shit out of it right now, all the same.
All right. Have you ever had Fontanella?
I don't know what that is, which is
That
Smells
no.
like a food.
Yeah, it smells like a foot. It's an
Okay.
It's an Italian cheese.
It's delicious.
It's like, let's say, you got Asiago and Parmesan kind of on the stink levels, right? Fontanella's up here. It's like it's almost like a Limburger of Italian cheese.
Sure.
It's
Yeah. Gorgonzola,
delicious.
that kind of deal.
It's
It's
delicious.
up there. Yeah.
So I actually have some questions to ask you, because Henry doesn't know who you are, man.
Ah,
So
Why
so
don't you introduce yourself to Henry,
It's-
man?
it's hard to pick a lane with you. You know what I'm saying? So throughout this episode, I'm gonna kind of sprinkle things here and there, and maybe ask things here and there. I'm gonna start with Guitar Gear 1.
cool. Yeah.
What started that? What inspired you to do that?
The realization that people were spending way too much money on stuff that they didn't understand. They were chasing after something that I think I was also very much trying to find, and I wanted to save them some money, some heartache, and form a community. I thought it was, YouTube was really new then. And it was a weird opportunity to set up a point and shoot camera and reach out in the world and try to touch somebody from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and 14 years later, I'm really glad I did that, and I just followed my heart. That's what I did. Yes, sir.
So, how geared into that right now are you? How geared are you into Guitar Gear 1?
More than I can fully divulge. At least this month, there's going to be a massive professional side coming. I will at least say consider it a store, consider it an online presence that we're going to be having. But we're also going to be producing the best content we've ever done. We're bringing in real audio engineers. We built a dedicated room for the show last year. I didn't expect to meet some really talented guys around here that also wanted to get involved. The coolest thing that's been happening is I regularly now realize I'm not the best guitar player in the room. And I love that, right? So I'm meeting guys that have very different kinds of gear. They're very focused on different things. And it's going to be a lot of fun to start including people that aren't me on the show. And we're also going to be bringing on interviews, real interviews. So we have already shot some footage. We are producing that content now, and we're going to do a proper launch and then stay with it.
That's awesome. That's really exciting.
Thanks, man.
I got a bunch
time.
of clips. I got a bunch of clips.
Man.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm going to just play this one real quick for the listeners and lurkers. Speaking of listeners and lurkers, be sure to click like, subscribe, share, all that. And if you click more, you got all our socials, and you got all Ty's YouTube pages links as well. So here's a little clip of some Ty.
Too fun.
Yeah. So
Too funny,
how old
man.
were you in that video? How long ago was that?
Those were day one clips, man. I was 20, 19, 20, 21, somewhere through there. That's a try. I haven't heard that in 1,000 years. I would never have known I did that. Yeah.
And it's funny because first off, a couple things. I want to go back to what you said. You're no longer the best guitar player in the room.
Yeah,
right?
man. Yeah,
and
dude.
That shows how you've matured as a musician. That shows when you're at a different level. Because in my 20s,
yeah,
it'd be an argument if I wasn't the best, and if I wasn't the best in the room, I'd do whatever I needed to be the best in the room because I wanted the title of the best in the room. Now I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make good music. And I think that shows a lot with maturity when you have that mentality.
But I just want to say it. I don't mean that in any kind of egotistical way. It's just so nice to just walk in a room and sit down and shut up and to just trip out on what a dude's doing. I have a guy that I'm working with now named Jamie Dowman. I'll just throw him out, but he's a tremendous guitar player, and he's so far over my head. But what just knocked me over is I met Jamie, and I found out quickly he's a huge Jimi Hendrix fan. But the first time he sat down in front of me and played, I just got this slow, shitty smile because I'm like, dude, you've been reimagining and reinterpreting Hendrix licks for like 30 years. And I knew that what I was hearing, most people wouldn't think Hendrix for a second, but he's like 20 years ahead of me, right? So he's reinterpreting things that I've, always had near and dear. And it's like looking at a time machine. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's I see all the refinement. I see all the places that I hope to get to myself. And so it's just a humbling and awesome time to be alive, man.
That's great, man.
Yeah, dude. The Northwest has some real hidden gems all over the place.
We're excited. We're excited for you.
Man. Yeah. Thank you.
To be honest, there's hidden gems all over the place, man. There really is. I guess it's like lightning in a bottle. You just got to be in the right place at the right time to find the right people, right?
So just to mention this, man, we had new neighbors move in, 6 months ago, something. And as I started to talk to my neighbor, it turned out he was trying to open a recording studio. He's huge into all kinds of obscure microphones I know nothing about, and audio production and bleed over and phasing things. I mean, like, so I just smiled and I said, you wouldn't want to do the audio on a stupid show with me, would you? So that's how we got Sean. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, just to piggyback, I mean, every time I turn around, I'm tripping and falling over somebody in this very benign area. It's a lot like Kenosha. It's kind of, that size, that sort of population concentration, but you meet different kinds of people.
I never heard where he resides. Yeah, where are you at right now? Let the listeners and lurkers know where you're at.
Yeah, right on. So I moved to the capital of Washington State. It's called Olympia. Dave Grohl and Kurt Cobain lived about 15 minutes from here. But Olympia is cool, and Kenosha is really cool. And there's a reason I'm going to mention that. So like Tom Waits mentions Kenosha twice in 2 different songs. Oderus dated a girl, in Kenosha. Cyndi Lauper showed up at the fucking port one night. Like Kenosha was this sweet spot. People knew. Gigi Allen, hung out in town. All these kinds of guys. But out here,
that airplane, the Big Bopper, Lionel Richie.
Oh, dude, right, man.
They were coming from Kenosha.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie.
There was a club across the street from where Patios is, and BB King played there. You know what I'm saying? The Marina Gardens. That was a nightclub, right? So Kenosha was super cool, but out here it's just different, right? So it was obviously Nirvana. It was everybody your age. Their friends were just like, guys in Alice in Chains. Okay, I bought a guitar from a guy a week and a half ago. He just started a band with his neighbor, who's Chris Cornell's cousin. So that's just normal, like the bands that I played in or whatever, somebody would be like, yeah, there's just Tyler and his brother and whatever. I'm sure we know those guys, except it's the grunge era dudes. It's somebody telling me, yeah, Elliott Smith used to fucking come over and play poker all the time, blah, 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 blah. And so it's just Jamie, right? He's telling me the other day, he saw Mitch Hedberg downtown on 4th Street on the tour right before he died. He was at, you know what I'm saying? And so these are just things that slap me, close to home in the sense that I was so into those things when I was younger, but it's just wild to fucking be here. It's a trip for some guy to point and to say, who I sat right down with on that curb. It's fun, and I'm really enjoying being here.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Speaking of all this music history and stuff, why don't I think it's a good time to let's get into the void.
Let's do it.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey there, listeners and lurkers. I'm your host, Bones Bodo, and welcome to this week's exciting episode of Into the Void, the show that celebrates and explores Kenosha's awesome and unique music history. And today we're looking at a gentleman who happens to be born of Kenosha music nobility. Because when you're the son of Kenosha legend Frank Falduto, it seems like there's probably some pretty big shoes to fill. But this guy here, man, he does it with class, he does it with talent, and he delivers. So we're going to jump right into it. This is Tyler Falduto with his song, Treetops.
1, 2, 3.
That was the song Treetops, written and performed by Kenosha's own Tyler Falduto, with a special guest performance by Tony Clark on percussion. You know, listeners and lurkers, if there is a specific band or song from Kenosha's music history that you would like us to feature here on Into the Void, feel free to leave a comment in the section provided below, or reach out to 2mixandawop@gmail.com and let us know what your thoughts are. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
All right. I have so many things. First off,
Thank you.
Bones, he hit the 2mixandawop@gmail.com. That was fucking awesome. Shout out to Bones. Now, Tyler, let's talk about what Bones brought up. Frank Falduto, your father, was pretty much a music staple in this town. I got my first bass ever from Falduto's music.
I took 3 lessons there from a guy who looked like Alice in Chains guitar player.
He took 3 lessons there from a guy that looked like Alice in Chains guitar player.
Right on.
Why did I forget his name too?
Jerry Cantrell.
Jerry.
Oh,
Yep.
Jerry.
I said
Okay,
Jerry.
okay. This is like a loaded, baited thing. Jamie that I brought up earlier lived with Jerry Cantrell. That's totally real, and it's just funny. It's just weird that would happen. But real quick, I got to ask, where did you find that? That is not the version of Treetops that I have. I know it isn't. Is that's
your?
Bones
I
on
stole that from one of your YouTubes. I scoured
Dude.
both of your YouTubes and ripped
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff. And I know it's a different version too. But
how
it's
I've
what I
never
got.
heard that. And I don't know Treetops inside and out. That's going back, but there's a couple fills in there I know I haven't heard Tony play. And by the way, actually, real quick before we move on too, how about Tony Clark? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's impossible to me that more people don't know him. I mean, he's
what's
like Jimmy.
funny?
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 people in this podcast or in this variety show right now have jammed with Tony Clark at
No
some
shit.
point or another.
Well, good.
I can,
Yeah.
I can safely say the second best drummer in Kenosha.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what an original guy. I mean, really. I mean, honestly, he's Jimmy Chamberlain meets Danny Carey meets Tony Clark.
Dude,
You
that
know,
fucking timing, that guy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he's definitely got his own
his
swag.
hands,
And
his
it's funny,
rudiments. You know,
I was gonna play
Chops in it.
on one of your YouTube channels. I was gonna rip. You have a samba. You play a live samba.
yeah, man.
with
Yeah.
And I was gonna pull that, but
Dude, that first metal clip you played when I was a kid, listen to that again. That's the samba. It is. It's just all
okay,
death chord
all right.
up. Yeah, man.
yeah,
Yep.
all
That's
right.
that was the guts of it. I've gotten so much use out of this C minor wild thing that Joe Moss taught me when I was a kid. But you'll find that throughout my playing. So I just wanted to call myself out on that.
for sure.
You get a lot of miles out of that shit. Yeah.
So let's rewind back and go back to being the son of Frank
Yeah, man.
Falduto.
Absolutely.
Did you-
Yeah.
I'm assuming you grew up with a guitar in your hand.
Yeah. In fact, I wish I could show you a picture. But yes. Yeah.
I know which
Always.
picture you're talking about, the one with where
Yeah.
you had the same guitars like 20 years
Oh
later.
man,
20 years later.
it's even funny you put it that way. Yeah. Competition Mustang is a '60s Fender Mustang, and recently a couple of years ago I bumped into like the same one in the shop with my dad. Did a side by side picture. Yeah, like 35 years later or whatever.
So
Yeah.
did you ever feel like you were in his shadow?
No, and I wasn't, man. So like, what I tell people is he put me on stage. I mean, when I was micro, he would get me to go up and tell knock jokes at shows when I was just old enough to talk. Basically, there's like old home camcorder VHS tapes of that, and so like I grew up on stage, and then strangely, before I was like playing guitar a lot on stage, he would bring me with to set up all the PA gear. So we would go in the middle of the afternoon to these bars that, both smelled and you could feel the tacky, dried beer on the floor, and guys hammered at 3 p.m, like, oh, here, this kid must be playing tonight. 'Cause I'm, coming in with PA speakers or whatever. and then running duct tape, all down these cables to, go around the perimeter so some hammered couple doesn't trip over or whatever. So like I grew up on the back end, so to speak, and then as soon as I wanted to, I guess really I started playing on stage, and so it was just my life, man. The same way that normal people would throw around a baseball, we traded licks, right?
That's pretty righteous, man.
Yeah.
I could only imagine, because my mom and my dad would get on stage and sing, because my uncle played in a band called Orphan.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Been playing in Kenosha for 40 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just my uncle. My other uncle played
was.
bass. My aunt sang, and then when I was real little, my mom and dad would get up on stage and sing an Animal song with them. So,
right,
and that was like the coolest shit in the world. I can only imagine, like, if I was surrounded in music my entire life growing up, I'd be like, it'd be the best. But
I don't know how to socialize without it. And yet there's people that know me really, really well that have no idea that I play, because I don't talk about it, but it's this weird kind of introvert move that you can always kind of, I don't know how else to be a person.
Let's be honest. I knew you for a while. I met you through Left. How did I meet you? I don't even remember. Was it through Left, Nick?
Gotta be Sean's house, probably.
For sure.
Think.
Okay. So,
but then again, I don't remember how I started hanging out with Sean either. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was liquor involved in my life for some years.
Regardless, I knew you for a while before I even knew you played guitar, much less.
Fucking, right. Yeah.
But,
well, what's fucked up is, so like what I figured out is the hardest part about moving across the country and having no basis is you have to keep telling people your life story. And what I figured out quickly is, like, if I didn't really know me and my family, like, so obviously, we're talking about my dad right now, I'd never fucking believe me about half the shit that I talk about. You know what I mean? Like, my dad had a Fender Nocaster, right? This instrument that was only released for a few months. It's this whole thing in Fender's history. It's just a Telecaster, but it's released from the factory without a name on it. That's a whole thing. But we really fucking had one. They're a serious piece of history. So imagine meeting some dipshit that looks like me in a bar, and I'm like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, and I'm sure your brother had a pet tiger and you guys had a fucking fighter plane in the drive. It's ridiculous. So the only thing I can do to instantly validate myself is play guitar for 10 seconds. Then I don't have to say shit. And I finally, in the last few months, I figured this out. Then all of a sudden people want to know stuff, So again, hiding behind that guitar, man, it's not such a bad move. I'm probably not answering your questions. I lost you guys. I can't hear you, Johnny.
I forgot to unmute the mic.
There you go.
To be honest, what I said was I don't remember what my question was. I try and ask good questions to get, and then I try and go off you. But the problem is you and I both
good luck.
you and I both have a similar kind of mind, which is like I can't explain it.
You got Irishmen on either side of you. Imagine them smushing them into you, right? That's me. So I got the whoppy, bippity boppity boop. But then I'll knock you out. No, I'm kidding. Whatever, the Irish thing. So
yeah. Well, speaking of wops, we got some people to hear from. We're just gonna hear from them back to back right now.
Hello, it's Giuseppe. I step away from the market just to say that I'm very, very happy for Two Micks and A Wop. Because Two Micks and A Wop is two wops and two mix. It's always a good to see when we have another wop on the show, so the wop is not so alone. Because those are mix. They're not a wops. And we like it a wops. Okay, bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Hey y'all, it's Jim. Can you believe it? Another 4th of July has come and gone. And what a wonderful, wonderful Independence Day it was. The two Micks and A Wop family all hanging out together, and all the children playing and laughing, and the adults is playing and laughing. Oh, it's such a wonderful time. And like Mundia says, don't forget what Independence Day is really about. It's when all the Americans separated from all those white people. 'Cause you all know the British is the real white people. You know, I don't even like talking colors and people and races. When people talk about colors and race, it just makes me mad. It makes me so mad. Because in my mind, there's only one race, and that's the human race. Okay, bye-bye now.
That's cool stuff, man. That's really cool stuff to see, man. Seriously.
That is my
That's
favorite thing that you have ever done.
Goose pimples.
I did. I was just showing.
Oh,
I had goose
oh,
pimples.
man.
I did. I got goose pimples when I was playing, and I'll tell you.
Wow, man. Thanks, dude. Yeah.
It was a fucking cream dream, not just for me, but for my brother too. When we had a band for 5 days. You know what I'm saying? That shit
it was like
pretty
4
badass.
3/4.
And yeah. And we did that song.
Yeah.
I fucking made you remember it, and I fucking
I'd have to remember it again.
I fucking
Yeah.
I recorded it, or I ripped it like I ripped it just now, and then I spliced it all together, maybe add another bridge or something in there.
Yeah.
And I had and I'm upset because I had a notebook and I wrote lyrics to that. And
did you sing
yeah, I did. I screamed, did a lot of screaming. And we had a video of it somewhere. It's on a Snapchat somewhere. Every once in a while, it'll pop up on my memory, but I don't know how to save it. Yeah, I know, right? And then I lost that notebook, so I don't even know what the lyrics are. I could try and maybe guess it from the video, but
My
anyway,
idea is Snapchat is talking to my friends like this. No, I'm kidding.
No, man. Beyond the Treetops was what you named that.
Yeah. It's so funny, and I'm sure I told you this. I must have, but I was actually waiting for a girl to pick me up. We were going out, and I was sitting on the couch, and I have no idea why. There's a part of that riff that's pretty different from Treetops, and that just came to me for no reason, literally no reason. I just set up my cell phone, and that's what happened, and that was it. And then I got up and went to dinner.
That wasn't
You
even
know,
your camera, like your camera at the time.
I don't know.
That was a pretty video. I'm just saying it looked real good.
I guess now that we're talking about how long ago that was, but so back then I was shooting all that stuff for Dark Half, and so a lot of times I just had my stuff out, especially at that house, man. You know, I was kind of doing the production company thing. I was kind of always trying to shoot something, but I'm telling you, it was just an impulsive like goonk, or we wouldn't have that, you know. And that's kind of how I totally am. I'm so disorganized.
Well, I'm so glad that you did that, and the rest of the listeners and lurkers and everybody else in the world can hear that on. I'm sorry, one of the YouTube links down there. You gotta understand, listeners and lurkers. I bounce back and forth between a lot. I was skimming through a lot of stuff, and speaking of it, while you're talking about shooting in that house, I wanted to play something.
I can't believe we met. You know.
When it's right, it's right.
So, enlighten us and the listeners and lurkers. Okay, first off,
it's almost coming out. Fuck no. That video promises you something in fall of 2011. It's almost there. Checks in the mail, man. Keep checking every day like an asshole. Keep looking.
Well, I was going to ask you, did it come out? Because the listeners and lurkers, they don't have any idea about that. You know what I mean?
Bro,
they don't know anything. We're introducing you to, the five people that watch.
Okay. So for context, to the people I don't actually know that don't know me, I guess the simplest way to put it is I got it in my head that I had to make a film. That was like the most important thing to me, which was actually kind of a progression from music, right? I wanted to make a record, and then I wanted to make a movie. And I don't know if anyone even understands this. I spent like fucking 12,500 like 13 years ago, right? Adjust that shit for inflation. And I got a totally incomplete film from a film crew that I hired out of Chicago. And I simply could not put it together myself. I had no idea how to do that. And then I did it again a few years later. Very similar amount of money, same conclusion. Tons of footage, huge files. I can't edit that stuff. Now I probably could, but nonetheless, man, that's the story. And strangely, I talked to Harris just a few hours ago, the star of that little doozy. Oddly enough. Yeah.
That is pretty strange. So let me ask
you
this.
Baby girl.
Do you have all of the footage for that film shot?
Sure. That one, and we did a second one called The Jaw. Same deal. The Jaw was all shot on a Red camera, man. Totally pro setup. We had a Chapman dolly, don't you know? We did the shit out of the whole thing. Real rigging, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, now
why do you want it?
I do edit.
Mama. Yeah,
just
man.
Saying.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk after the show, but for the listeners and lurkers, I'm going to say that you should if you have everything shot, why not put it together?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Man, dude, and that's the thing. And you helped me edit something years ago too. Like it's nothing like what it was. Back then, I mean, you almost had to have a degree from MIT, to sort out like the drop down menus. And the machines couldn't take it and everything crashed and we stole all the software, right? Torrenting, like, there you go. Suck a dick. And it was almost like a hacker's game. Come on, bro. We were adapting DSLR cameras. I was fucking fitting Nikon lenses from the 80s to my Canon bodies with these $30 adapter rings and all this. Come on, dude. Like we were trying to renegade it, right? Light diffusers, shower curtain. You know what I'm saying? Kino flows. How about halogens that we white balance correct to try to dial out the yellow? You know, like we had to learn so fucking much for the most basic tasks, and the kits were huge, and you had to stuff so much light down the barrel of one of those lenses. You know what I'm saying? So low light performance, workflow. Okay, motherfucker, but come on, man. I remember shooting a dark half video in Milwaukee. We were at the mercy of these battery packs, right? So I had these poor kids that are helping us on the set, and every 15 minutes I'm sending another one away. Put this thing in the fucking charger. You know what I'm saying? It was the only way to keep shooting. I could go on and on and on all day about that whole kind of scenario. And inevitably, without exception, every single renegade dude that I knew, we all completely burned out. We were broke. We were so disheartened. And we all just eventually stopped talking about it. You just shut the fuck up. It ain't coming out. 2011 came and went, and we all hit the bottle, right? So, or whatever. We all coped. So,
yeah. This
yeah,
is
man.
right, Mick here. How does this sound?
Yeah.
13 years in the making, finally released.
Yeah. I'll bring the walkers if you guys bring the prune juice. You know, we'll do the premiere. Yeah.
I was saying, you're saying next week you're going to do it that fast?
That's right. And I was going to say that it's not because we need them. I just like these things.
Well, I was saying you were talking about walkers.
Level
I know
up.
I'm fucking
Yeah.
soaring every day.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's funnier. I'm more likely to have a Walker than a Johnny Walker these days. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know if we've evolved. Maybe not.
Maybe. I'll tell you this much. I'm excited to drag you into the sitcom. See that's the thing. When we put out the sitcom, when we film it, like when we get into filming it, because we're gonna have to get into filming it sooner than later.
Yeah.
We're going Monty Python style. I think of
Women in
Python
dresses. I'm in. men in dresses. God damn it. Yeah. Gooch it. Yeah.
The thing is like,
I'm not going to do it. I just want us to have it on the show, and then you have to. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm saying like old sketch
I'm in,
comedy.
dude.
That old British, aside from them dressing like a woman,
yeah,
rickety backgrounds. Our lighting will be like our lighting that's right now that's slowly changing. This is gonna be the source of our lighting for the sitcom. We're gonna get a few more of these things, and we're gonna make it work. We're gonna do what we have to do,
and it'll look great. You couldn't do that before.
And that's
we're on God mode now.
I know, it's great.
Yeah. Cheats.
So with that being said, we'll be back after these messages.
Not gonna lie. On my life. Namaste. Sketch. Money. All good. Let's go. Gucci. Karen. Yas. All up in it.
Hello, this is Boris, the Russian Bachelor Bell, here with tips for bachelors. You know, Boris, sometimes I like the quiet. When you're a bachelor, you can have a day of just quiet. When you are not a bachelor, it is hard to have quiet day. But when bachelor, you can be very quiet. So that's it for Boris, the Russian Bachelor Beta. Back to you, to Micks and A Wop.
Thanks, Boris.
Thanks, Boris. He's not
And
wrong. Again.
thanks
wrong.
for Two Micks and A Wop public access commercial. Bringing to light the overused words and phrases by the populace of society. Please stop using those words and phrases.
It's all good. I do
Let-
say a lot of those words.
I do too.
I say
Well-
too many of those words.
Well, I tell you what I don't say, and what I nominated to be thrown on there, curtain revealed. Let's go. I hate let's go. I'm a sports fan. Now, Left Mix, he doesn't do the sports ball. How are
Yeah.
you? What are your feelings on sports ball? Are you with Left Mick? You don't like the sports balls, or do you like sports?
I always answer it this way. You know, my grandfather was the boxing commissioner of the state of Wisconsin. My brother's a pro fighter. I feel like fighting is a separate thing. Like when people say, do you like sports? They generally mean something with a ball or a puck. So in that sense, not really. I'm not super into team sports, but
That's why I said sports ball.
yeah. So one-on-one, generally speaking, I'm into that. Like a dude with no excuses. You know, it's just him and himself,
So
basically.
boxing, MMA, kickboxing,
Yeah, man.
UFC, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thumb wrestling, arm wrestling.
Yeah. Dick measuring contests, into it.
Log throwing. I used to love. What was that? Where the guys in the
You got to draw
skirts,
the fucking line somewhere, John. No, I'm kidding.
carrying the trees
Yeah.
or whatever, those lumbers, and they throw to see how far
They
can
call
throw.
that stump lumping.
Stump
No, they
lumping.
don't. It's a lie.
Don't lump that into that.
Yeah, I know. We won't.
Oh, that's a private event you know about, or
You don't know about it?
oh no, I don't know about stump lumping.
A Mick thing. I don't know. He is half Mick.
Oh. My Diaz says off the camera, he says it's a strongman competition, but I know it's a specific one. It's not normal. It's not like the USA strongman. It's where those the fucking guys in the kilts. So maybe it's a Scottish strongman or the whatever. With the guys in kilts, they carry.
So, like, you know, strongmen, they're going to do Atlas stones. You know, they're going to do this big spherical, perfectly formed, you know, stones. But you know, the other European guys, it's usually something individualistic and off the charts. Those haggis suckers.
Yeah, I remember specifically seeing on like ESPN 35 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was one of their maybe it was the Nueve. I don't know, but it was a guy in a kilt, and he was carrying. They were throwing. They looked like telephone poles.
Yeah,
They were super
man.
high, just throwing them. See how far,
Yeah,
and they could,
up
they
over
couldn't throw them
stuff.
that far because it's a fucking telephone pole. You know,
The Highland Games.
Highland Games.
That sounds right.
There you go.
Yeah, man,
Thank you,
for sure.
thank you, Left Mick.
Tax this guy.
Such as the caber toss. I think that's what that pole is.
And that's it for
It's the
random
cable.
fact.
Random
Yeah, right.
Random fact. Random fact.
And just to tie it into music, that first animation we did.
Random fact.
My bad. They changed the loop button. It looks
No, no,
completely
good.
different now. It threw me off.
That the animation before the bear remind me of the Eagles of Death Metal video Complexity. I don't know if you got, man, that is like one of my favorite things. And so you had me from go on that one.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They said we had him from Let's Go.
Walked into that one.
Yeah. It was kind of gay.
Have a queer with your friend Shane.
You know, in my adulthood, I have come to the conclusion that Golden Grams is the best cereal of all time. Now, growing up, I really enjoyed Lucky Charms, you know, with the marshmallows. That was my jam as a kid. And I was never really a Captain Crunch fan per se. But I don't know if anyone who's older remembers, but there used to be the Smurfberry Crunch, and that was the bomb too. But as I got older, I started to realize all those sugary cereals really weren't all that. I mean, I guess maybe your palate changes and you lose your taste, because for a lot of years there, in my 20s, I enjoyed Cracklin' Oat Bran, which is strange. Even now in my late 40s, I look at that and go, damn, that was a weird fad. But it was the cereal that was the jam to me. I don't know why. Cracklin' Oat Bran, man. And for me, it just tasted like brown sugar and graham crackers and just, But then that led me down the road to my next one, which was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That was my jam for a lot of years, too. Cinnamon Toast Crunch opened my eyes to what cereal should be. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is one of the cornerstones of any nutritious breakfast. But then, of course, once you go there, you have to cross the threshold into the golden, the amazing Golden Grams. Golden Grams. A cereal so good it doesn't even need a fucking mascot. Deliciousness. Golden Grams. So now, as my 48-year-old self still enjoys the cereal aisle at the store, Golden Grams is my jam. The only thing that could make it better is if it was covered in sprinkles. You know, in my adulthood, I have come to the conclusion.
My bad. I got a little trigger happy there, but Golden Grams.
I think you circle jerk yourself.
Cracklin' Oat Bran was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Well,
Dude, so Cinnamon Toast Crunch is just Golden Grams that got rocked by a churro in a street fight, and it didn't come out on top. It came out with cinnamon and sugar. Yeah.
We apologize, Tyler, and listeners and lurkers. Apparently, somebody around here thinks 9 o'clock is a good time to mow their lawn
for 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah, so we
hilarious.
Apologize. Yeah.
And they waited until we actually came back from commercial.
Yeah.
Start mowing again.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
It's I don't know. I would rather the horn guy come back. There was a guy with a air horn just wandering around blowing an air horn for the last what was it, a half hour or something?
That was a good half hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's all beautiful background.
Anyway, back to cereals. Yeah. So see what you say with this in the talk. Me, my weird cereal that I used to eat. What was it? Something with almonds, Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds. Oh, I used to murder that cereal. Okay. Honeycombs. I couldn't pick one. I'm a variety kid.
Apple Jacks.
Yeah, I can never stick with one too much. But I wasn't.
Reese's Puffs, man.
I was not big on the fruity ones.
Destroy some Reese's Puffs nowadays.
A whole box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't big on the fruity. I was more savory. I think I like Cocoa Puffs, Cocoa Pebble. Any of the cocoa stuff was a go.
Savory.
Cocoa
so
Krispies.
Umami. Yeah. Umami to be exact. That's what it's called.
What about you? What was your cereals that you went?
And I'm staring at it right now. Quaker Oat Squares, man. And what's funny about it is my mom told me when I was a kid, I called it Guy cereal because there's a guy on the box. So yeah. So there was a cereal called Take 5, like in the 90s, and I loved it. And then I recently saw it at the grocery store. Here, couldn't believe it. It's like $8 a box, and it's like, fuck that, I'll build a time machine. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably great. I don't know.
It's a candy bar now, right?
Do you remember the Sweet Chef cereal?
Maybe it's not called Take 5. Even better.
It's a good candy bar.
Oh, yeah, it's an amazing candy bar. It's
all right, well, I'll find out the cereal next time for sure.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I completely disrespected a segment, and I have to come back to it because both the Micks were upset. They said they had it lined up. So we're gonna come back to. It's time for random fact.
Random fact. Random fact. Random fact. Random fact.
Random
really
fact.
doing this?
Yeah, you guys were fucking.
Earlier, we had a comment.
I didn't have anything. I was like, great. He covered it. Boom, we're done.
Here's my
he said, I got one lined up, and we're not
Here's
doing
my random fact. Earlier, we had a comment from Potato Pancake, and it was asking about Mundiaz. He is here. Oh shit! A lot more comments.
Oh man, I didn't.
Oh fuck!
Holy cow!
Okay, so there's a lot of comments now. But
We
the first
apologize,
one,
listeners and lurkers.
Pancake potato face. That's what it was.
All right, he says, Top
quit
Mondays is going
ignoring
to
your
start being on
fans.
the show.
That's a Mick right there.
Can we see his sexy feet?
got some
Quit
Matthews and
ignoring your
Mazos.
fans. And
Ignoring your-
what about monster cereals? Yeah, I was actually going to bring those up, but let's go through these. Simba says, I used to live in Yelm, Washington.
Dude,
Okay.
I'm right outside of Yelm. I'm way closer to Yelm than Olympia, downtown Olympia, even though I have an Olympia address. That's cool.
Walla Walla. Walla Walla.
And Simba asks, how did you go about writing?
It's like 108 in Walla Walla today.
Has a family member that also lives close to you in Walla Walla.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Is that right,
The
Lindsay?
states.
Did I say it right?
Walla
It-
Walla.
it-
Walla Walla.
It's so weird here because of the mountain ranges. So Walla Walla's on like the east side of the range from here. So it's like a fucking 100 degrees. I just happened to see that, right? So it's like 20 degrees hotter, even though it's just a couple hours away. So they're in a whole other world in old Walla Walla.
And my random fact is when using StreamYard, if you get a comment on, it gives you one notification. You click on that notification to look at that comment, say, okay, I'm going to come back to that.
That one.
Okay, that one comment. Then a flood of other comments come, but you don't get any notifications.
Why?
I don't know.
Huh.
That's a StreamYard thing,
Tyler,
I guess.
why?
That's my random fact. That's a random fact. It's not
Why,
a random.
Tyler Falduto?
I'm like a monkey in a cockpit trying to land a plane, dude. You know, I'm making it look good, but it's fucked. Yeah.
So you do better than most Americans, is what you're saying, though.
Well, I don't want to take that kind of credit, but
Well, I guess you're just finding your way.
Out for that.
so we got that riff established, right?
See,
You
Mike?
know, for 3 minutes. Sorry,
Oh, you were finding your way.
I was.
I thought you were going back to the C-Biter.
And I shouldn't point this out. Did you notice I'm not the only person in that shot?
No, I didn't notice.
Yeah, pull it back up. and take a look at where a pillow would be. And it's the reason I'm not like, there's kind
so
of
damn quiet.
Yeah, and I don't dig into a heavy part at all. Like, you could tell.
Is my head in the pillow?
In
Yeah,
the pillow
man.
in your life?
It's in your lap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you want to
I
about what happened earlier?
I picked up a girl. She had been in another country, and I picked her up on a return flight, and she'd been up for like 2 days, kind of a thing, and she sort of blacked out in my bed. This was a girlfriend. This wasn't some
I was saying,
random.
question. Picked her up
Yeah.
like you were scheduled to pick her up, or hey, you picked her up that night and
Oh man, I shouldn't even answer that. It was not planned, and we were not together at the time.
picked her up.
And yeah, and
So
for
you're
whatever
saying
it's, yeah.
the game is hot and it can't stop.
Well, the only interesting thing, and I guess just because it's coming up, and again, like I wouldn't have the faintest idea how to play that song. I kind of see a little bit of what I'm doing, but I'd really have to figure that out again, like completely, pretty much.
Yeah.
But like, dude, so dig it. You pulled up that video of me on the red couch playing Beyond the Treetops or whatever. I was waiting for a girl to pick me up. And that's just kind of what happened. And then Treetops, the original.
You picked up a girl.
I see your inspiration.
So I'm picking all the videos where you're picking up or getting picked up by girls.
Like, bro, like we
videos get picked up.
This girl and I went through a terrible breakup. The girl that's sleeping behind me, and I never thought I'd see her again in my life. And I had a lot of times, man, I sound like how I'm feeling. So that last one you played, man, bro, that song is called Consonants and Vowels. I had caught this interview with Greg Puciato from the Dillinger Escape Plan, and he said the reason he always writes lyrics when he's in the studio and not before is because he's saying once you've like really gotten in touch with something horribly painful and you've sung it a couple times and you start to kind of work it out, it becomes consonants and vowels. That's it. It just fades away into this thing that you used to feel. And I thought that's what happened to our relationship. And it was like one of the heaviest ideas. And I actually really like the lyrics I wrote for that one. But yeah, and so it was almost like I snuck her the song, kind of knowing there's no way we're really going to last again. So didn't mean for all that to come out. And like I said, that's definitely a piece that I don't remember at all. But that's seeing that's like, fuck.
You're gonna be crying soon.
Yeah. That's, I guess right.
Yeah.
Mick says it. I don't see it, but I guess I try and get our guests
cry
to
real
cry.
soon, brother, and that's okay.
Well, I'm gonna cry about my dog, and I'm just calling out quick. So it was her 13th birthday a couple days ago. Little Stelly Moo.
Happy birthday, Stella!
So, only girl I ever needed. Yeah, bro. It's the wide angle. She's a really tiny bulldog as far as English go, but yeah, man, that's my whole ass world. I don't need some stank ass bitch sleeping in my bed, breaking my heart.
Yeah. All right. So I disrespected Left Mick once again, and I apologize, listeners and lurkers.
Hey,
we're going to come around.
Hey, right, Mick.
If you could call any name right now, what would it be?
Probably the dick in the middle.
Random fact. Random fact. Random fact. Random fact.
So it's really fast.
Yeah.
You know an ear of corn?
Ear of
have
corn.
as many as 800 kernels in 16 rows, and they will always be even numbered.
Really?
Yep. You'll never have.
They'll always be what?
An even number, he says.
Oh, cool.
See, I like odd numbers, so
Yeah,
maybe that's why I don't eat ears of corn.
Probably not.
Oh.
I mean, it makes sense.
Not any more random facts in the house.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Wait.
So yeah.
Tyler might.
Here's a weird one for no reason I'll mention. Long before I was diagnosed with OCD, I sat down at a fucking party for no reason. A friend of mine was sharing a case of beer we were well into, and it took way longer than you'd think. I individually twisted out every single kernel out of a corn cob it looks insane when you do that. It's like geometrically perfect. Like it doesn't get all squished when you chew it. So there's some shit you didn't need to know. That's pretty random.
And that's it for Random Fact.
Random fact. Random fact. Random fact.
And we'll be back after this.
When the people want integrity. When the people want professionalism. When the people want a fair and balanced take on today's top stories and headlines, the people turn to one place. The people turn to one voice. The people turn to one man. And his name is Johnny Chompers.
Johnny Chompers here on the streets live on the 4th of July. We're here with two Micks and A Wop news, and it is pandemonium here on the streets. There's mortars going off everywhere you look. Be careful if you're on the streets. Right behind me right now, someone has just let off a fountain. I don't know what's going on. Oh, the humanity! Here, run for your lives, ladies and gentlemen. Run for your lives, ladies and gentlemen. The street, it's all over the streets. The pandemonium. Oh, the humanity! Oh.
After a long day's work, you ain't looking forward to going home and dealing with that bitch. Stop on in to the Two Micks Wop House, located on Highway FU in Kiss My Ass, Wisconsin. Offering lots of double whiskey specials to keep you mental health stable so you don't go home and slap a bitch. And if that bitch happens to be with you, we've got my wife as a fat cunt dinner specials for two. That's right, we're offering a half chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy for the missus and a whole sip of whiskey for you. And if you happen to have them snot-nosed little punk-ass kids with you, we've got the My Kids are a bunch of unappreciative asshole dinner specials. That's right, we're bringing you 2 pounds of pasta that they can stuff in their fat little faces and sit there and shut the fuck up, giving you some sense of mind and some peace of fucking quiet in this world, but nobody deserves it more than you. So stop on in to Two Micks and Wop House, Whiskey Saloon and Cabaret. It's located on County FU in Kiss My Ass, Wisconsin.
Think you know yourself so well then. Cannot even tell wrong from right. Seems like the only thing you know well is how to miss the girl every night. Go to bed alone again, man. I think you owe ourselves a better plan to set.
All right, hold on. Before you get into the deep, dark insides of yourself to where that song came from, because I want to hear, which we absolutely want to hear. I just want to apologize because I didn't run any of this shit by you.
No, you didn't. That was hard. Yeah.
And
that's why you're gonna cry.
And
yeah.
I wanted, regardless. I apologize if I overstepped any boundaries, playing anything.
No, dude.
Realistically, listeners and lurkers, if you look hard enough, you can find all this stuff online anyway. Most of it under both of his pages. He has 2 separate YouTube pages.
Find out the women.
The links will be in right by the like. You should have already clicked.
And by the time you click, I'm gonna pull all this shit. You'll never see it. I'm kidding. Speaking of that time machine again. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm gonna pull a lever and Johnny's just gonna fall through the floor right now. You didn't know I installed that at your house.
Nah. I didn't want to overstep any bounds, but I feel that this is shit that needs to be
Where did you
heard.
find that? That's on YouTube?
No, man. No. Well, a version of it is
See, I know the other one. I didn't even I had no idea this exists. I don't remember this at all.
You got to understand, I did a bunch of scouring, and part of the reason that I played this one, I believe you sent this to me personally.
Oh,
Because
wow.
this was
very rare.
probably in a level of
Cool.
like, because we were both in a dark place when it came to relationships and shit. This was before I was with my girl.
Well, that's
who I'm with
changed.
right now.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. Like
I'm
completely
better.
180.
Yeah.
Right. But however, I do believe you played this in one of your YouTubes. You're standing in front of yourself. You're like, yeah, remember I play guitar, and you played a bunch of different riffs, and you played that, and you sang it as
Weird.
well. So
Weird.
it is in a collaboration, which I was gonna pull too, but it was long. It was like 7-8 minutes. But it's
What?
a bunch of different riffs. You honestly, you were throwing yourself out there saying you wanted to play in a band again.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But you had that song and sang it too. Now let's go back.
That's a weird
Should I
thing.
play it again?
That was a weird move.
Should I play it one more time? It's real short. What do you
Oh,
think?
God.
Yeah, we should play. No, we're playing it one more time. We're gonna
this background.
we're gonna play it one more time.
Think you know yourself so well then. Cannot even tell wrong from right. Seems like the only thing you know well is how to miss the girl every night. Go to bed alone again, man. I think you owe ourselves a better plan to set.
It is
Dude.
beautiful, man.
Oh,
Beautiful.
I
know
literally
it's
I just spent the last 2 times seeing this trying to totally decide if I know where that is. Like, I finally just found a detail almost at the end of the second one where I'm like, okay, I know for sure where that is. More fucked up, I talked to her today. Just happens to be.
Wow.
Weirdest thing.
Really?
Yeah, man. I talked to her and Harris today, which is so strange. But yeah, please. It's just wild. I have no idea this stuff exists. Like, I truly mean that. I don't. I've never seen this, I don't think. I mean, in 100 years, whatever.
Wow. Yeah, well,
He's tripping over there.
Bro, so what was going on? I was I shouldn't put this out there. Well, okay, I can put it like this. I was wholeheartedly, and I mean that. I mean, like, in a sincere way, I was totally torn between 2 polarizing women. Very different people, very different everything, right? And I didn't know what to do. And it just killed me. No matter who I was with, it was the wrong one, right? So what's the first line of that? Think you know yourself so well. Yeah, can't even tell wrong from right, you know. I literally didn't even know, you know, which way was up or down. And so, right, so most of the pieces that you're probably ever going to find of mine, they're more or less just me trying to process the situation, you know, and it's very downtrodden, right? And one other thing, I can see kind of how much I've grown in the last few years as a player. I'm a lot more relaxed. And I could feel myself rushing.
You do, though.
Well, thanks. You know, I started eating mushrooms and listening to Tool, I think is what happened. And I just fucking chilled out, man. You know, I just found that like head on a roll and tumble thing and leaned into it.
I've been starting to eat acid to my own stuff. It's so fun.
You know, and I don't know if this is inappropriate or off the rails, but seriously, psychedelics and music, big change for me. Very powerful, you know, for me. The first few times I played guitars on mushrooms, that was a permanent alteration of my understanding of the instrument. I don't have to do it. I don't have to eat mushrooms every time. I have this new, totally different relationship. And I've been lucky enough to be able to keep that inside of my membrane now. That's stuck. Yeah. Do mushrooms, kids.
Talk to your clearance on them.
And tell him I said it. Tell him I said it. No conditions. No. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
different times, man. It's different times because it's not really a bad thing to say.
And
There's
not
people-
kids. I mean, legally and
I
responsibly.
mean, come on. You got fucking Aaron Rodgers on a peyote fucking rampage. Ayahuasca, whatever. Same shit. What's the
Ron
difference?
White got off of alcohol with
Right.
ayahuasca. You know, Belushi, a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Turning
And
out
like,
stuff.
yeah, man, that's Bill Burr. I listen to Bill Burr's podcast and shit. He's always talking about doing mushrooms and
Bill
he
Burr's,
changed-
Red Rocks, such a great mushroom story. Accurate, I would also say. Relatable, I would also say. You know, but and seriously, let me really say that though. I'm not encouraging minors to use psychedelics. Like, of course not. I hope that goes without say. Obviously, we're all having a good time here, but yeah, if you're an adult, if you're open-minded, seriously, I am really suggesting it. And I will go on to say it's different for us because they decriminalized them completely in Seattle, like almost 2 years ago now. Everybody knows Oregon's put everything on the table. So I'm in a different climate, you know, but if you can safely and responsibly partake.
I think it's shit from
do that.
Oregon like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
always been there.
Yeah. Strongest mushrooms in the world pop right out of the ground here. In fact, you know, we took Stella to the ocean. My dog. We took our dog to the ocean the other day for her birthday, and right along the beach, that dune grass. Yeah, baby, peel those suckers open in October. And
October, you say?
yeah,
Because we want to do a traveling podcast. I think we got a destination now.
One of the first times I went to the ocean, a buddy brought me for Halloween. We did this full moon fire on the beach whole thing. And as we were crossing the dunes, I can't even make this up. These hippies with pillowcases came scurrying out, literally like, "Hey man, oh hi, didn't see you guys coming?" You know, and they fucking split. And I didn't find out for like another year and a half why they were there, and nervous.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
You said pillowcases.
Yeah, again, heard it here first on Two Micks and A Wop. Get your azurescence and cyanescence here in Washington State. They come up in people's fucking lawns everywhere. We get them in the front and backyard. It's insane. Yeah. That's what your tax dollars pay for here. That's your land use. Mushroom factory.
You know, the taxes that you pay on the stuff you already own. You know, that stuff.
Yeah, you know, and so you eat psychedelics and pretend like it's not happening. Yeah.
You know what that means?
What?
Really sick and tired of society. They flicked the bean this time. I went to fucking Wendy's to try to get a fucking number 2 after a long day of work to eat, to fill my belly. But no. I pull up to the drive-thru. You know, they're supposed to be open late. I say hello. He's like, I'll be right with you. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Almost 15 minutes later. Nothing still. So I drive around to the drive-up window. Knock on it, whatever. And all these fucking people in there are laughing because I'm mad because they didn't say anything or have proper communication with a customer. And I basically waited 45 minutes for a number 2. It's stupid. People in service are shitty. And it's just getting worse and worse through society. I don't get it. Maybe they don't need a job. Maybe they should rely on the government to take care of them because clearly they can't fucking work a regular job.
Who's right here? He's right here, pancake, potato face. There he is. Oh, yeah.
And Diaz is just off camera, and you know, he gave me. Oh, excuse me, I'm choked up over here. I'm choked up.
He gave you something in your throat.
No.
Oh, he looked it up.
He gave me a Diaz for this week, so I apologize for the repeat. I have one.
It's not on him.
No, it's on me. It's just an audio.
Because they fuck you, Madiz.
As a matter of fact, I asked him. I said,
"Why don't you just do it live?"
Ooh,
I do have the one he gave. I could play it into the mic. We'll leave it up to our guest. All right. Listen, he gave me one. Now these segments, the blatherings, the Diaz, all that, I make videos for them when they send me their audio clips or whatever. And I didn't have time to make his today. I said, "Hey man, I'm sorry. Can I just play an old one?" I was like, "Do you care?" And he's like, "I don't give a shit." So,
but I'm pissed off for him.
Right. As second I started, right, Mick's like, "What the fuck? This see this one." So instantly I felt like an asshole. You know what I mean? So we'll leave it up to you, Ty. What do you think? Should I play the one that he sent me for today right now, even though it's just the audio, or should I make something for it and present it next week?
What if I do a big bong rip, and if I cough, you play it?
Yeah, all right. You better rip it like a man.
It's like Groundhog's Day, except I'm into it.
Hey, while you load that,
yeah,
you mentioned Mitch Hedrum earlier. Did you know when an escalator
Hedrum or Mitch Hedberg?
What I said? He said. I did not say.
He said Max
Oh,
Headroom.
that's huge. Yeah, I did. Commercials. Did you know, because of this man, when an escalator's broke, it's just stairs. They don't say out of order. It's just stairs.
Not being a dork either, but that was a chalker. It's not looking good, Adam.
Yeah, we need a real one.
Okay.
I was not satisfied with that hit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you said I thought you said you were hitting that bong, not giving it a soft kiss. All right, that's a little better. All right, that's better than a soft kiss.
Should we just say it's not good enough and go for 3?
3 is the magic number.
Yeah.
Unless
it doesn't matter what you do here. We're gonna make you do one more.
And breathe.
Third time's charm.
Turbulence on that one.
But here's the problem.
You're a pro.
My weed is just so smooth and delicious and easygoing. It's not even a contest.
Oh, next week.
Can we do one more?
Plug myself. No, I'm kidding. I will do a third one.
He's going already.
You're goating me. If it makes it, I don't think it's gonna make it.
Kids, don't try this at home.
Nope. Or on YouTube.
It's legal where he's at.
No, I love that sound.
So anyway, well now, but I kind of want to see a clip, or well, I guess I can only hear it. So.
All right. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, listeners.
I
did! That counts.
Show me the clip. Run it.
Flicking the political bean on Monday. I am Diaz. You know, today's system of government is so whack. You know, especially everybody that celebrated Independence Day. How are you so free? What are you celebrating Independence Day for? Is it your freedom? It's funny how the government's trying to take all of our rights, but yet everybody celebrates the Declaration of Independence Day, which is supposed to be July 4th, but was actually signed July 2nd. You know, it just lies everywhere within the government. Another fun fact, Wi-Fi. Studies were done. One side with plant growth with Wi-Fi, one's on, one side with plant growth with Wi-Fi off. The side with the Wi-Fi off, all the plants grew fast and rapidly. The side with Wi-Fi on, not one plant grew till 3 months later. Makes you wonder, Wi-Fi really good for us? Or is it just another thing to add to the list, especially with like Gwen Towers and mind manipulation and vaccinations that, I don't know, leads to corrupt activity against us and our human rights. But who am I to say? I'm only the bean.
That wasn't worth the bong hits.
Congratulations.
Cool.
Yeah, Wi-Fi info. I actually enjoyed. Are we lessening the growth of what we want?
Well, there's
What the hell, man?
there's definitely something to that study, though. I mean,
Do you want the funniest fucking response I can possibly give this right now? Okay, here we go. Again, just odd that we're in this position. I'm gonna really regret doing this, but the bong hits. I'm fully licensed. We're like triple permitted. It's all good. But we got Wi-Fi, man.
Poke.
But
my camera's tracking so weird.
I wonder why.
There's like a delay in StreamYard. It's
not the Wi-Fi.
We're gonna move on from StreamYard. I just need to find a better.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, though. Would those be twice the size if you didn't have Wi-Fi?
Oh.
No. No.
Hey,
they wouldn't.
Try the next batch without it, brother.
Yeah. Incidentally, and so it said 3 months. These also, for anybody that's into genetics out there, these are about four something weeks in. So,
really?
And that's into flower, so they're quite a bit older than that. But my screen keeps closing out. I don't know if you can even see any of this. Probably not.
Oh, that was pretty.
But we got nice stripes running all down the leaves. God, I'm gonna regret doing this. That one in particular is Gorilla Glue crossed with Sunshine Daydream. That's a Bodhi offering. It's the F6. So some guys do what they call an open pollination. You can certainly strategically pollinate, so you can use like a Q-tip, for example. Did you guys lose me for a sec?
Oh no, we're listening.
Good. Right on. Okay. Yeah. So breeding's super cool, and cannabis is something I'm super passionate about. Have done the last few years.
If you ever find the dragon smile, I would like to talk to you. Off camera.
Well, that's what's so neat, dude. So like once you get into the community, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So it goes from like one rung of the ladder is to start to like really kind of know some strains. So the first thing is just people like, oh, well, I like this. And then they might find out what that strain is comprised of. So they find out it's a cross of two things, and they're like, oh, somebody put that together. And then the next rung is to realize it's not like a fucking product that you can like order from Amazon and it's made in a factory. Like two, human beings bred this together, like some people in a garage, in a basement, in a warehouse. So they fucking did it. So they have it. So then it's, well, who's the breeder? And then you start to get to know the breeders. And so, like I say, it gets to a point where like you want like an original clone cut of whatever, like we'll find it. And so it's really fun if you start nerding out on that stuff and if you enjoy it. And this is a very good place to live.
The worker's dream, muscles and fields of green. Huh?
Yeah, man.
Fucking poet right
huh?
You're nailing it, dude. You always got to rhyme. I love it.
Yeah. So I have two questions. All right.
Yeah.
The first question is, you just picked up your camera and walked all the way around your little place or whatever. How'd you do that? Because we got this dumb cord. Oh, I don't want to pull it.
See, Wi-Fi.
I can't. You got a Wi-Fi.
Fucking over Wi-Fi. There you go. Yes. Yeah. Over Wi-Fi. There you go. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not trying to shit all over that. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just hilarious to have an example like that. Like, what are the odds? I could be like, well, here you go. It's next to Wi-Fi everything. You know.
Too bad. I named this episode in Dependence because it was right after Independence Day, and I knew that it was touched on a couple times. But too bad. It should have been what a coincidence. There's a whole lot of coincidences in this episode. You know what I mean?
But it's always been like that around you. Seriously, like that was a whole ass thing, dude. Interesting shit happens when you're around. Seriously. Well, you're a good person to know.
I appreciate that, Tyler. That means a lot to me.
I think he's a dick. What about you?
Yeah. All right, let's break it down. Getting crazy.
He's a fucking dick.
We'll be back after this.
Fuck the WAP.
Greetings. My name is Arif Hussein Saeed Apu Mahal, but you may refer to me as Arif. I would like to tell you about some interesting and wonderful specials we have this week at the 2 Mix Quickie Wop. We are offering many wonderful things for everybody in the neighborhood to gawk at you and consider you the Jagra of everyone's popularity. So let's go with the specials. This week we offer 1 gallon of Murphy's windshield wiper fluid for only $1.29 a gallon. We are also offering Jiffy Pop 3-pack. Impress your friends with wonderful Jiffy Pop for only $1.29 per unit. Tampax tampons are on sale this week for only $1.29, so you can plug that woman up if she gets a little too red on the carpet, if you know what I'm saying to you. We are also offering specials on Kit Kats and Marlboro Blend tobacco products. So, take it from me, Arif. Come down to the 2 Mix Quickie Wop and discover all the wonderful specials we are offering today.
Grief, pain, heartache. These are all things you may be experiencing when dealing with the loss of a loved one. I understand choosing the appropriate monument may be difficult in these times. Here at Serpent Stone Masonry, I'm here for you in your time of need. I have plenty of affordable options in a variety of shapes, sizes, and colors to help you pick the best stone to represent your loved one. After you pick your stone up, be sure to stop by our counter corner, where I currently have a sale of Uba Tuba countertops and islands. Look me in the eyes when I tell you, no one will beat my rock-solid prices. So be sure to stop by Serpent Stone Masonry and kiss my ass, Wisconsin, just 2 blocks south of 2 Mix and A Wop House for all your countertop and monument needs. Rock-solid stone at rock-solid prices.
Hello, America. It's me, Peter Trippiani, MD. You ever wake up in the middle of the night with a broken leg and wonder how you got there? I give you 3 options. Option A, you're walking down the stairs and kiss the floor because you had a few too many. Option B, your ex-lover who found out you thought his sister was better. Or option C, the guy standing over you with a ski mask and a baseball bat. Now just remember Petey's policy. I don't know nothing, I ain't saying nothing, and it's got nothing to do with me. Now here's 3 solutions. If it's option A, I can give you a pill called the Hangover 3001. It sounds like hotcakes. And it's just coming brand new off the market, and it's FDA approved. If it's option B, then see option C and grab the bat from him, and get in contact with Gotta Guy Services. Otherwise, go ahead, see option C, follow 1 through 3, paragraph B, and then we'll be good to go from there. But remember Petey's policy. I don't know nothing, I ain't saying nothing, and it's got nothing to do with me. Tyler Falduto, where do you land to fall on us? Because remember, I also got a guy.
I'm glad to know you got my back. That's gonna be real handy.
Well, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's already been an hour and 37 minutes. It's hard to believe. Hold on.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I gotta play this.
Still in tune, baby bear.
It might not mean much to you, but where this thing is clear and how clear it is and how dynamic it is. All right, let's get off of that.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Thank you, man. I'm serious. Not about me. How rad is that guitar, dude?
Yeah, man.
Question while you're drinking that bong water. You remember that one, right?
Yes, that was pretty recent. That's a guitar I picked up just a few weeks ago from a really nice guy, 79-year-old guy. You know what? His name is Larry Wolf, and you can get Larry Wolf guitars in Washington, somewhere about an hour from Olympia. Don't remember. Sorry, Larry Bear. I don't. But he's got a lot of stuff for sale. Super nice guy. And I got that 57 reissue Les Paul Jr. from him at a great price. And I love it. Thank you, Larry.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice guitar there. It's funny because Mick leaned into me. He's like, this is a totally different person. He's like, this is the reason he said he's gonna remember this.
I meant more like your personality was different than the other
Cool.
ones I've seen. I've seen you, but...
For the better, you think?
Oh yeah, like
for
alive,
sure.
brother.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah.
Energy.
I started listening to a lot of Mastodon when I got here, and in a lot of lower tune, chill, rumbly, groovy as fuck, but always laid back. I used to be so tense. I was such a tense, anxious player, and I didn't know that. And now I'm figuring out how to fucking like hang on to a groove, man, and let your balls hang down. I shouldn't be saying any of this. But yeah, no, yeah, thank you. And I'm enjoying this stuff a lot, and I'm slowing down. I'm playing less and I'm liking it more. I'm like finding riffs and digging in.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
And it's so hard for me to do that. Oh my God, that's the hardest thing. Like guys will tell you, like the Beatles are unbelievably hard to play, actually. Like there's a lot of stuff that seems so simple, but you got to land every single nuance of it perfectly. So it's like deceivingly hard to do, and I just find it tricky. But like I say, I finally found this fucking groove spot, and I'm loving mining that, man. And I'm hoping to find a real groovy drummer. Somebody I can vibe on, so to speak, and get nasty.
Yeah, man.
It sounds like you ain't gonna have a problem.
It's Tony. Okay, Tony Clark. You heard me playing with Treetops. Tony has chops for days. That Jimmy Chamberlain reference from the Smashing Pumpkins. He was hands, but clear double strokes. I'm a drummer too, and so like I so appreciate a guy with great technique and approach. And Tony's a fucking machine, dude. Like, he's a drummer's drummer. It's like working with a great singer, man. Not a guy that sings, a singer. Like somebody that really brings this melody to life. And you're just like, fuck, dude, that's why I don't do it. See? Because you do, and you're good. But so Tony was a drummer you could just trust, man. Like, you can hang on him. You can hang your hat on Tony, and it gives you a lot of creative freedom and trust to just kind of keep up in a way almost. But I just can't seem to find a guy like that out here, you know, and I'm hoping someday I do. So I'm single. Putting that out there.
In another way,
I'm eligible.
Talking about eating psilocybin while listening
to
Tool.
Right on.
Did you know who
absolutely.
Tony played with?
Be more specific.
Tony,
be more specific. Yeah.
He had a band. I forgot the name. Fuck, because I didn't even plan on nothing. But it was the guitar player's brother from Tool who he had a band. He's more of a lawyer, but he also jammed too. And yeah, I seen him at Mickey Finn's.
They played at Mickey Finn's?
Yeah, on stage is awesome.
No shit.
What a and here's where Tyler says, "What a coincidence!" Because
full circle, brother.
Yeah, I played with.
No idea about this, which is funny because I do. So go ahead,
yeah,
take
Isn't that guy's office?
yeah, man. So here's the story. I knew Tony for quite a while. We'd been jamming. He was in another band at the time, and it started to become clear we had some pretty different sounding stuff. Tony is an odd meter master. I was humiliated. Tony's like, let's do a funkin' 5. It's one of the first things he said. Hey, Tony, if you ever see this, bro. So he goes, let's play a funkin' 5, and just seamlessly, smooth as silk, fucking rolls this thing. I can't find the one to save my goddamn life, and I'm a fucking drummer, dude, but I just couldn't do it on guitar, and he made me want to be better. Right? He whooped my ass, and I'm like, that's the guy. That's the fucking guy, dude. I was determined to make it work. So Tony and I started playing a bit more regularly, and he called me one day and says, do you have a bass player in mind? Like, is there a guy you want to play with? And I said, no, man, I don't have any plan at all. And he goes, what about Al? You know something, dude? I don't think Al would actually like us talking about this too much. So I'll keep it. He's a pretty private dude. Okay, so yeah, just to say that much, right? So you're correct. Adam Jones' brother, we did play in a band with them, and it was a wonderful experience for so many reasons. I shouldn't go too deep on that, but Al has been incredibly kind to me, and Tony certainly has met Tool. Like, he's definitely gone with Al and Adam to like he rode in the car with them on the way to a Tool show, for example, like for sure. I didn't do anything like that. I've never even seen Tool.
Yeah, no, this is coming. I knew this was fucking coming. Yeah, I was going to bring it up. because it's funny because we're patent heads. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah.
And they're fucking tied together. They tour together, all that shit, right? And Tony gives this fucking guy a picture of fucking Mike Patton screaming in a microphone, and he's bleeding from his face because at that show he was going too crazy and headbutted the microphone stand.
What do you know what band he was with?
Patton? That I'm sure it was Tomahawk. Sure, that was a Tomahawk.
Okay.
Right? When the first album came out, because that's when they toured with Tool, and it was around that era.
Here's what's so fucked. We had no idea we were both going. It's not like we went together, but I fucking ran into Al and a good friend of his at a Tomahawk show in Chicago, and I could be wrong on this. He might have been hanging out with Patton. You know, I think he was, but somehow I don't remember how in the hell this came up. But he told me Mike was in a really bad mood because his baseball team lost, and I don't want to embarrass myself, but I think it was LA team. And I said, he's upset about baseball. And Al goes, he's super into baseball. And I'm like, what the fuck else would Mike Patton be into? You know what I'm saying? But like, sorry, I didn't mean to derail. Yeah, but oddly enough, I fucking ran into Al. Probably not at that Tomahawk show. They definitely weren't with Tool.
You were in that band too with Tony.
Yeah, for a
I probably saw
while.
you at Mickey Finn's. Remember the man and woman painting their bodies? And I'm colorblind.
No. That Jake Rowanhouse, that would have been a Jake show with the body painting stuff. Probably, I would guess. That would only make sense. That might have been before me. I don't know when that would have been.
Long time.
Yeah, way over 10 years for me that I knew Al. But yeah, Tony and I jam, and I apologize. I kind of don't remember how we got here.
No, that's all right. I played a clip of more recent, and we went straying, and that's fine because that's what the variety show is all about, is variety.
Yeah.
So while everybody was talking, I pulled one that I had ripped that I didn't upload, but while everybody was talking, I undeleted it from the recycling bin and uploaded it because I want to play it because it's really fucking old for you. So let's check this one out.
See if you remember this.
Yeah, let's see if you remember
Okay. Jesus Christ. That was really hard to see. Sean, that is what happened to the movie. That's what happened.
Oh.
I disintegrated. That was me right before the torpedo. Right before.
Damn the torpedoes.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I didn't know that exists. I was a fucking kid. I was 19. My heart's racing.
Is this where you cry? This is where you're gonna cry. And I get him. You got it.
No, man, I'm not even kidding though. Like that's yeah, sorry, I lost my thought completely. That's the thing. So I kind of figured out this bag of tricks. Just to reference him again, like Adam Jones said, he basically kind of wrote everything he's ever written in high school. Seth Rogen, there's guys that talk about like they find their sense of humor, they find their style, they find their thing, and that's really kind of who they are. And so in that one piece, literally, it was like I just dumped out my toy chest. I'm like, so like, dude, back then I had, and I still don't, to be clear, I don't have a fucking clue of what I'm doing. I don't have a fucking clue. So like, I kind of understand major and minor scales. I kind of understand diminished. I sort of understand chromatic, which is more recent, by the way, really. So every single day I was sitting down with the guitar in a tuning I didn't understand, right? So that's in drop D. And so once that happened, I lost all frame of reference completely. And I know how silly that is, but like I never sorted it out. So I would just try to unlock and unlock and unlock and unlock. And like I was surrounded by guys that were really into like Pantera style metal. They were into, kind of more like roughneck kind of thing. And I was always into this kind of more melodic thing, but not super fucking pussy bullshit, but something with a little hook and a punch to it. It still had to be explosive because I was. And so anyhow, it was actually really cool to see that. Not super positive where you dug that one out of. I have a guess.
What's your guess?
Facebook.
No. You want to know what it's called?
Yeah. I guess.
Hold on. Can I see the whole title this way?
How weird.
Oh, yeah. We'll do it like this. It is called Typod 6-7-08 Tough Guy Tapping Metal Hardcore Guitar.
I was trying so hard to fucking get search relevancy. And Guitar Gear 1 did. It did. I did grow those channels a little bit,
Well, and that's the thing.
It
like, to be honest with you, on a real level, pulling the curtain back, when I look at your shit, when I was digging through this,
bro. Yeah.
I was kind of jealous, man. Guitar Gear's got a lot of subs, man, and a lot of followers, and every one of your fucking videos got a lot of damn views, man. Like,
well, thank you. And that was all an accident. That was it was just sitting down and talking about stuff. And I think people like me because I was real, and I still am. It's a fuck up. I mean, come on. I just took you around the corner for Christ's sakes, And so like, it's like human to human. And that's what I like about it. And I'll call a spade, man. Like if I think something's a dog, like I'm going to tell you for sure,
Quick question.
Yeah.
This is right Mick here.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I wasn't sure if you were stage left or, it's kind of like when you've known somebody for too long, you don't fucking know their name and you can't ask now.
What stage left?
So like,
if you look, he's on the left, but right, he's on my right. He's right Mick.
Yeah, so
he's my left. He's my they're not my mix, but they're on my right and left.
Yeah,
I'll be
stage left. Forever. Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so my question is, that was not it. Okay, you were describing the majors, minors, diminishes.
Yeah.
Would you say you more felt it than schooled it that way? Like you just kind of just felt the guitar?
Yeah, man. No, 100%. And frankly, I'm not good at being somebody else. And especially at that time, there was a lot of metal coming out, a lot of brand new stuff. Job for a Cowboy just happened. There was this major departure and what we all generically called hardcore. And incidentally, if anybody cares about this stuff, we were in an exceptionally cool area. Okay, so we had Born of Osiris right across the street, basically. Okay, My Heart Engraved, Rosecrans. They've had a few fucking names, but nonetheless, they have persisted. They put out record after record. They're still going. And a ton of bands came out of the Chicago area, but we had such a specific kind of tech metal, very staccato stuff, very bouncy. And it was generally speaking all in 4/4 time, but it didn't sound like that. And in fact, I told Lee that in Born of Osiris, you know, so you get this like chicka digga da chicka digga da chicka da da chicka da da chicka digga 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 da chicka da da chicka da da chicka da da chicka da chicka da, but it all just fucking bounces on a 4. You can just fucking do the dude shrug, right? And the thing is, I think it was coming from hip hop. All those guys were into hip hop, you know what I mean? And so we were kind of all used to this fucking, which is very different than Cannibal Corpse, right? That's not black metal. That's not beatdown. That's and like East Coast hardcore was fucking tough guys, right? Like, and it was you know, this whole different kind of a thing. And then you had really spastic tech music. North of that, Dillinger Escape Plan. Of course, we got Jane Doe by Converge came out around that time. But the Midwest really had its own flavor. And I didn't fit in. I didn't fit into any of that shit, dude. You know, I love those guys' bands, but like it just never felt like I was in the same room. It just wasn't me. I wasn't them. And it was cool. We were all friends. But what you hear is me. I'm too light still somehow to really be brutal. Like there's still always this kind of melodious person like reaching out and kind of what I do, I think, or at least that's how I feel about it. And so I can't be them, and I'd like to think maybe in some small way they can't be me, you know. And so that's what you get.
My question got all that out, bro.
Oh Jesus! I spilled the drink. Question got all that out.
You've been baptized.
I think that's probably a good spot to end the show because we're at the 2-hour mark and our camera runs out of battery right around 2 hours. So with that being said, listeners and lurkers, thank you very much for sticking around with us, checking us out. Be sure to check out Tyler's stuff. Click more. Both of his YouTube channels are on there. Go through. He's got some great stuff on there. If you're a guitar player, he's got great info for you. Check them out, Todd. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, follow us on 2mixandawop@gmail.com. You can email us and we'll respond to you. And all our other socials are in the Click More area.
Goodbye.
See you in 2 weeks, bitches!